Welcome back to the show, guys. Today we got another special episode for you. Yeah, dude, I've just been out here making my rounds. You know, we got WCK coming up on April 25th, so I'm trying to get all these fighters in. Shout out any fighters on April 25th, hit me up. But today we are back at Hardworks. You know, I've been here a few times. I've interviewed a bunch of their fighters. I've interviewed their coaches. That should distract me for a second. My bad, geez. But yeah, we're here, dude. We got a special guest. I've been trying to get this guy on for like a year now, dude. I remember the first time I met him, I came to interview, I believe it was Coach Hung, and he put me with Miklo to do pad work, and I was like, damn, this dude's cool, nice, super fast, and got very good technical hands, you know. I hit him up for one of his fights, and he literally was like, nah, I don't think I'm there yet. He's collected a belt. I was actually there for that fight. That was an amazing fight. But please welcome to the show, Jose Gonzalez, aka Miklo.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for having me, brother. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for finally coming on, man. I've been wanting you on for a minute, dude.
It's that time, huh? You know, it has been a minute, and we have been like trying to, you know, get this going. But I'm glad that we finally got it going, and you know, and we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this show on the road.
Yep. So, do you like to go by Miklo or Jose? I'm assuming Miklo because that's what you introduced me as.
Everybody knows me as Miklo. You know, usually that's pretty much how everybody like refers to me. That nickname was given to me a long time ago, bro. When I first moved into Compton, one of my buddies. One of my first friends from the neighborhood where I lived at, his big brother gave me the nickname, bro. I remember I went to go look for my friend. Shout out to David. I went to go look for David at his house, and his big brother was outside washing his truck. And then I went to go look for him, and I was like, hey, man, I was like, is David home? And his brother was like, yeah. He's like, what's your name? And I was like, oh, Jose. And then he looked at me, and he's like, hey, man, he's like, you ever seen the movie Blood In, Blood Out? I was like, nah. And he was like, you look like, you know, you look like one of the characters. You look like Miklo. He's like, is it cool if I call you that? I was like, yeah. And ever since then, bro, that name just stuck, bro. And every time I'd meet somebody, I'm like, my name's Jose, but you know, you call me Miklo. And then for short, they started calling me Mick, you know, Meek. So it's been either Miklo or Mick. So that's just what I've been sticking to. Well, not me myself, but you know, that's just what everybody's been referring. Yeah, the team and everybody around me, bro. So to not say Miklo or like, hey, me, so everybody just call me Meek for short. So yeah. It's cool. I don't mind it.
I know him as Jose. A little quick story. When I was trying to set this up, I got chat banned on IG. We were communicating through Instagram, and I hit up his coach Hung, and I was like, "Hey Hung, can I get Miklo's number so I can contact?" I DM him right now. He sent me his contact with like his full name, and I was like, "Who the f is this, bro?" Jose Gonzalez. And so I realized I was like, "Oh, it's Miklo's number." But I was like, "Did he send me the right number, bro?"
Yeah, bro. Usually, people tend to forget that my name's Jose because everybody you know, everybody gets so used to like knowing me as Miklo. Yeah. And then, you know, people tend to forget, and they're like, who the fuck's Jose? You know, like, hey, who's Jose? Yeah. It's me, Doug, you know?
It's me, Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So, Jose, I want to run, or Miklo, I'm sorry.
It's all good, bro.
I'm hearing Jose, I'm hearing Miklo. I don't know what to call you. I'm going to call you Miklo, though. I like that name better. Let's bring it back real quick to SoCal Fight Club, dog.
Yes, sir.
Dude, what an amazing fight, man.
Thank you.
For me personally, from your performances that I've seen, I think that was your best performance yet. I don't know how you feel about that.
I do feel like that was one of my best performances, just because of the fact that like I've grown, you know, I've learned so much in between the clinch and between like footwork and putting together putting together the striking combinations, hands, mixing it with the kicks. So I do feel like that was one of my best performances to date. Yeah.
Yeah, you came out with that knockout from, you said it was a cross hook, right? I actually didn't even see the hook. I knew it was a hook because I was like, it had to have been a hook based on how he went down, but it was so clean and crisp, and the way he got it off, they were like so tight, and it's really tight space. That's actually one of the things I noticed Hung really works on a lot is that tight space with like the boxing and stuff. I remember when I came here and I trained with you guys, I was like, oh, this is different, you know? You guys are like in there, dude. You know, you guys do a lot of at that time you were doing the pendulum switches and all that, I remember.
Yeah.
So I think that knockout is a great representation of the style that Hung has like taught you, you know, at least in my opinion. But yeah, dude, so Would you say that you're more of like a hand-heavy fighter, or like?
Kind of. I would want to say that I use my feet to get within the space and then work from there. But sometimes I can, it depends on what's given. It depends on what the opportunity, when you work off your footwork and then the openings that open up, sometimes, the legs are open and you can go ahead and take a kick and then that can open up the hands. Or maybe, you cut an angle or, you move around a little bit and then you make a miss and then maybe the hands are there. So sometimes I do find myself being a little bit heavy, being heavy on the hands, but I like to mix it up. I don't like to be so heavy on the hands and then just rely on the hands a lot.
Yeah.
I like to mix it up and throw the legs in there. So it's a little bit of mixed love here and there, but yeah, man.
Good answer.
Yeah.
I'm heavy on the kicks, bro. I've been throughout the years been trying to work my hands. It's actually funny, when I met Hung, one of the things he told me was like, yeah, everyone's kick heavy when they start, and then once they get older, they start using their hands more because their legs get messed up.
Yeah, the legs give out a little bit.
I'm at that point, bro. My hips hurt when I wake up in the morning now, and I'm just like, oh man, all these years. Your legs, they don't like to be swung like that. Your hands are okay. They got like the big old cushions on them and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find myself like using my hands a lot more. I gotta come train with you guys more, get my hands better. But yeah,
get that hand speed up. Yeah.
I gotta say, Hardworks, your guys' hands are like, they're very nice.
Thank you.
But yeah, so you're fighting April 25th.
Yes, sir.
Angel Mayorga.
I don't want to butcher his last name, but
I have it written down. I don't know how to pronounce it, but here, let's see if we can pull that. No disrespect to Angel. Maybe I can find you, Angel, and we can speak too. But,
yeah, no disrespect to the to the guy.
Mayoral.
Yeah, Mayoral.
Ooh, dang, you got to roll in the R's.
Mayoral.
There you go, dude.
Yeah.
You know anything about your opponent? Like, you've seen tape or anything?
I have not. I know that he's fought a couple times, and he's been putting in work and he's been doing his thing, but I have not seen too much film on him. So I really can't speak on his style or the way that he approaches his fights. He has a good record, so I'm assuming he's been doing his due diligence. He's been in the gym training. He's been putting in the work, sharpening his toolbox. So all credit due to him, and we're gonna put on a show.
I guess he's coming from San Diego too, which is like San Diego has a plethora of great gyms out there. You got Victory and just too many of them. So if you fight someone from San Diego, more than likely it's going to be a good fight. What I mean? That's the thing about SoCal in general, though, bro. It's like we have so much good talent, bro.
Yeah, man.
Gyms.
The pool of talent, man. It's good. Yeah. There's a lot of good fighters out here. There's a lot of different styles. And you never know, almost every matchup is like really good. So it's like it's like a box of cookies, or like a box of chocolates, you don't know what you're going to get, dog,
Yes,
so yeah.
Yeah. I was, when I first started this podcast, I was like thinking of how far this would go, because when I first started, I was just interviewing my friends because it was mostly to help them like promote their stuff,
Right.
And we're like 2-3 years now, and I just have not ran out of people to interview because just out here, there's new people coming up or people that you discover that you're like, I never heard of you, bro, and this one's got like an undefeated record or something.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that SoCal, I know Arizona has a lot of good fighters, but SoCal, Arizona, I think that we got some of the best talent in the world, at least in the United States. I can't say world. Haven't been around the world yet.
Yeah.
I'd love for there to be like a cross promotion between like maybe like some California promotions and like some East Coast promotions and just battle it out, bro.
That would be sick, man. That would be sick if you get like a pool of West Coast talent versus like maybe a pool of East Coast or the Midwest, something in the middle of the country, and then you build them up, you get the best of the best, and then maybe you can take them and do something like maybe international or something. That'd be real dope, man.
I thought about that.
That'd be real dope.
I thought about that because that's kind of how the NFL is. You know how they have like the West, like whatever, dude.
NFC West.
Yeah.
Or each conference has like their North, South, East, and West. So, and then they battle it out, duke it out, and then the best go to, the playoffs and whatnot, and then the best of the conference, that's who goes to the Super Bowl. But that would be something really dope, man, if the fight game had something like that, at least so that the pool of talent here in the country can, like, just develop. Because, like, fighters over the pond, across the pond, like, for example, like Thailand, they've been fighting since they were, like, freaking 6-7 years old, maybe sometimes even younger, and they have so much experience that by the time they get in their late teens, they're already like world-class fighters, and then over here on our side, a lot of the fighters, we picked this up later, maybe in our late teens. You're lucky, blessed if you start early, before 15. You're very, very blessed if you start before 15, because by the time you get to 18, 19, you already accumulated a lot of experience. But if you don't, right, like if you don't pick it up until like late teens, early 20s, sometimes you don't have a lot of time to develop. Maybe you do, depending on the athlete. It's all on a per case situation, but it'd be real cool if you had more of like these opportunities to be able to develop either at an earlier age or even at whatever age that you start, but just having more opportunity to be able to develop, against different types of styles, different types of techniques, and just regions, or
yeah I think it'd be cool, because like I've been thinking, like, how can we grow the sport, like how can we promote it better? And I feel like if we did kind of the conference thing like we spoke on earlier, it's just a way, because people like to support their people, right? So it's like you got a West Coast versus the East Coast guy. Now it's not about the gym, it's not about the promotion, it's like all of the West Coast coming together to go against all of the East Coast. So I'm like, that'd be a cool thing. I think maybe maybe the NFL has it right with that, the one thing I don't like about when they do that is, like, I feel like sometimes you're not facing the best of the best, because sometimes the best of the best are on the same coast,
Yeah, sometimes they might be on the same coast, yeah.
But it's great for promoting, bro. Like I said, you pull people together based off of just your region. Everyone loves the region. I love SoCal, bro. I love the West Coast. I don't care who's fighting. Maybe I can't pronounce your name. Maybe I've never seen you fight. You pull West Coast on, I'm like, that guy.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
We go for the West, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, so take us through this camp, man. You're looking slim, dude. When I first walked up to you, I was like, damn, you look like you're already on weight, dog.
I'm almost on weight. I like to, just like by a rule of thumb, I like to walk around anywhere between 10 to 12 pounds over whatever my fight weight is. So usually I'm walking around anywhere between 30 to 33, because I fight at 22. So, or 18, usually like my cap is like 130. But right now I'm currently sitting at 32, sometimes at 33. I'm floating in between those two numbers. But yeah, man, I'm just dialing in the nutrition, making sure that I'm drinking a gallon of water a day, and then just coming in here, bro, doing my due diligence, getting that lift work in, getting the bag work, doing the techniques, working on the technique drills with coach, with the teammates, and then, just hacking it out one day at a time. And that's usually how I keep myself in shape. And like I mentioned earlier to you, big help from Coach John, my combat sports dietitian. He's a huge help. He helps me. We kind of check in on a day-to-day basis. And, I just kind of give them a rundown of like what I'm consuming during like for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or whatever. And then based on that, sometimes we make some adjustments, maybe switch up, some proteins, or maybe have a little bit of more carbs, or, just fine tuning the small things. And that has been I've been working with him for about, I think since the summer of 2024, from like my last 4 fights. And I've been feeling a difference, bro. Like my I used to like train sometimes and like get a little bit like drained. Obviously, maybe because I wasn't properly like fueling, myself. And I would feel drained sometimes, bro. Like after training or after sparring, I'd feel like kind of feel like weak or like, lightheaded or whatever. And then now I don't feel that way. I feel good after I finish sparring or after I finish technique class or whatever, and I feel good to go. I feel like I can go another 5 rounds after, after going through a good training session.
That's cool. Is he part of the Hardworks team, or is this some guy you found on?
No.
Side?
So he used to be our jiu-jitsu coach.
Okay.
He used to be here teaching no-gi, and then I think now he teaches somewhere in, I don't know if it's HB. I think it might be like HB or Anaheim. But we still keep all the fighters on the team. We still keep contact with him. He still helps us out with our nutrition and getting ready for weight cuts, and he's still a very big part of our team. So even though he's not here physically, he's still a big part of the team. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was his name?
Coach John Sassone.
John Sassone. Shout out John Sassone.
Yeah. Shout out Coach John, Combat Sports Dietitian on IG. That's the man.
Yeah. Find him. I'll try to find him and add him right there.
Yes, sir.
That's tight though, dude. That's the thing that I feel like a lot of fighters look past is getting the right diet. Like, I mean, people will eat healthy, but there's eating healthy and then optimizing your nutrition.
Yeah, bro. And then there's like eating healthy with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we want, like, one of the things that I've learned is like fueling yourself with like proper carbs, right? We've been like conditioned to like ignore carbs, right? Because carbs will like store water weight and whatnot. And yes, that is true. But then also if you switch your engine, right, your metabolic engine, to run off carbohydrates for energy, it helps you out a little bit. Coach John broke this down to me. I guess apparently when carbohydrates break down, there's like an extra oxygen atom that like releases into the bloodstream or something like that, which in the long run, right, a little bit more oxygen in your bloodstream is better, right? Because then now you're feeding the heart, now you're able to like, get a little bit more extra oxygen. It's kind of like NOS in cars type of shit. You know what I mean?
I thought you were gonna say NOS.
No,
like I was like, you are Mexican, bro. You know what I mean? Gas.
No. It's like a fuel injection in the car or something like that. So you want to think about like the food that you eat, like proper fueling when like in a sports car. Because as usually like as an athlete, your vessel, man, that is your sports car, right? Yeah. You yourself, you're the driver, right? But your vessel, man, your body, that's your sports car, right? So you got to be able to put in the right nutrition. You got to be able to get your recovery dialed in, right? Whenever that little check engine light comes on, you got to go get yourself a chiropractic adjustment, or maybe you go hit the cold plunge, or always hit the sun, getting these things dialed in so that you take care of your car, so that you can be able to, longevity. Yeah, the important stuff, man, because that's how you keep longevity. Yeah. I feel like that's how, that's what will allow you to propel yourself later in the years, and then even maybe after, you're not competing anymore. If you don't do it, maybe that's when, later on down the road, that's maybe when you start feeling everything and you start freaking feeling broken or whatever. And I feel like maybe if you take care of that now while you're still doing it, you start to stack the small habits, right? The small habits, the small little things, and then that then becomes discipline, right? So then when later on you've been so accustomed to like stretching or like hitting the sauna, getting your whatever part of your recovery routine is, just like how you have a part of like, your training routine, your training regimen, recovery should be just as important. Again, because like, we got to take care of our body. So I feel like that's a good indicator, not a good indicator, but like a good rule of thumb, man. Like, so that if you do want to go later on into life, and then even after the sport, still being able to move, right? Maybe you want to coach, or maybe you want to like teach somebody in your family, or little cousins, little nephews, nieces, whatever, and you don't want to like not be able to move, right? You want to still be able to, hit the pads a little bit, maybe show somebody how to kick and whatnot. And if you don't take care of your body, how are you going to be able to do that, right? Yeah. So that's kind of like how I like, because I still want to, like later on, man, I still want to be able to move. Like how coach will hop in the ring with us and spar with us. I still want to be able to do that, you know what I mean? When I get later on down the road, I still want to be able to, get in there, move a little bit real quick. And I do jiu-jitsu too, so I still want to be able to roll, you know what I mean? Like 5-6 years down the road. And I don't want to like throw my back out or something, or I feel too tense and something, and then that takes me off the mat, or that takes me out from not being able to train for X amount of days. And I just feel like doing all the small things right now is going to compound, and later on, not only are you going to build the discipline that you're going to do the things that you don't want to do when you need to, right? Then you build that foundation that you got to get this done. Yeah. Right? Like, you got to get this done. Like, I like, on Fridays, we usually have, like, our Fridays are like our day off, but like, I like to get some stretch, so like, do some mobility work. I don't, sometimes I do, like, if I feel a little bit like not banged up, but like, if I feel a little bit banged up, I'll take the complete day off or whatever. But sometimes I need to move, man. I need to do something, because I feel like
discipline. You gotta keep it going.
I just feel like I'm like wasting time or something. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta do something. Maybe watch some film or something. You know? Why? I just feel like just being completely, like, I just feel like not being productive is not like
step back.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I get that.
You gotta be able to do something. Stay busy, man.
I always, back in the day, when I was like competing and stuff, I was always like, the days off I take, my opponent is not taking any days off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how my mentality was. Maybe it's not true, but that's how I just felt, bro, you know what I mean? And I think that's the mentality you have to have for anything in life, bro. Whether it's education or training or whatever, bro, you always gotta like think like, there's a person behind me that all it takes is one day for them to get ahead of me, and I can't let that happen, you know?
Yeah.
Obsession.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to.
Funny enough, like, I was listening to Terrence Crawford on, I think he came out on like the JRE not that long ago, maybe, like, I think it was like last week or something, and he was just speaking about this same topic, about that he used to train 7 days a week, just like, just getting it in, because he had that same mindset that the day that I don't work, my opponent, somebody's gonna up me by, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, somebody's gonna have a one up on me.
Right there, bro.
And he was saying that his past, I think 2 to 3 fights, that he does have one day off where he's just either like just doing stretching or like, just working on recovery. And he said that that's helped a lot on the recovery process. I get it. Like, obviously coming from Terrence Crawford, like, that he obviously,
champion.
Yeah, man, one of the best, if not the best. That coming from him has to say a lot, because he had that same mindset where it's just go, train. But then he took a step back and he adopted that philosophy where it's like, okay, I need to take one day off and just focus on this recovery. And then look at him, man. Like, he's still good. He, still moving really good and everything. So I feel like as young fighters upcoming, like, that needs to be a staple of your routine, is being able to incorporate that recovery. A lot of people tend to overlook it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you're young,
Yeah, man. It's like, energy, And nah, man, I think that when you're young, when your body's still elastic, while you're still being, that was a car.
I wasn't sure if that was the camera. I was like, wait, what camera? Sorry.
No, it's all good. As I was saying, I feel like that while you're still young, while your body's still elastic, while you're still able to get into those deep ranges, you should take advantage now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So that later on, you don't feel like, you know what I'm saying?
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm 35 now, dude. My shit is messed up in places.
But there's other folks that are even worse. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like because you're still active, because you're still, hitting the gym, and you're still able to move. Your body still works good. It might be, you might feel a little bit of flare-ups here and there. And I think that it's just a matter of being able to maybe just take your recovery a little bit more, right? Maybe rest, maybe a little bit extra or whatever. But I feel like because you're still active, you're still able to keep going. You know what I mean? I feel like when you're as active, fighters, I feel like, because I felt it myself, man, if I like take a week off right? Like, let's say I take a week off for like resting or whatever, dude, all the gains go away, man.
You come back like, what is this, bro? Who am I?
Not just that, dude. I feel like, bro, like you try to throw a kick or something, and it's like, dude, the hips get super tight, or you try to stretch out and you get in.
Small technical issue. One of my cameras overheated. Unfortunately, it's the camera that had the mics hooked up. But we're back. Yeah, so you're saying, I don't remember what you were saying. My bad.
No, I was just saying that about getting the recovery that younger fighters should take into consideration, making it a staple of their training regimen to take recovery serious, man. Like, you don't want to get to the later age in life. Like, you know, I usually, I call it like the third floor, you know what I mean? Like when you're in your 30s, you know, you don't want to get later into the third floor, and you don't want to be like, you know? But again, like I was saying, that for you, because you said that sometimes you be feeling like, you know, you be feeling banged up or the hips are tight. I feel like because you're still active, I feel like, so movement is like lubricant for the joints. You know what I'm saying? So if you stop, I feel like then you'll really feel it more, you know? Yeah. And that's when you'll like break down. And the reason, because you're still active, I feel like that is what gives you a one up above other folk who just live like a sedimentary lifestyle, where they're just like sitting down all day and whatnot. But again, the key is that movement, right? You're still active. It's not like you're just sitting down all day and just watching TV, or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's that activeness. It's that active aspect of your life that, you know, that is keeping you going. But yeah, man, I feel like it's just, you're just maybe one recovery implementation into your regimen to help you get, like, you know, because bro, my hips used to be super tight, and coach took me through like this little you know, like get into like the little 90-90 shin box position, and then do some external rotations, hold that for about 15-20 seconds, and then lift up lift up your leg. So he took me through this little regimen, and dude, I'll be sore, but you feel the difference. Like I'm able to throw kicks a little bit more fluid, you know what I mean? I don't feel so tight, you know?
That makes sense. Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits you get from training here at Hardworks is like, for those of you that don't know who Hung is, dude, Hung comes from like a lineage of martial arts, bro. He started with Oyama before Oyama was even, was he at what was that other gym before Oyama? It was called No Limits, I believe, right?
I think
he was at No Limits, right?
I believe so.
So I'm pretty sure he was at No Limits. Dude, like, it's kind of crazy because the more I talk to Hung, he's from Westminster, which is where my dad lives, so like I'm very entwined with that community. But it's like the more I talk to him, the more I realize how much he's done in his life, dude. But that dude was like, I remember he showed me a clip where him and Bao from Rounders MMA, they were on the news because they had they started some like fight gang in high school, and they were just like, the media took it up as like an actual gang. I'm not sure if they were an actual gang. I think it was more like a fight club that they started, you know. But there's like a video of one of them. I'm not gonna say the name because I'm not gonna put him out there. But it was on the actual news clip. But he's like, one of them basically took a dude down and was just elbowing the crap out of him. It was like a street fight, right. And this dude, you could tell, had no business fighting an actual fighter, bro. But the news took it as like, look at these hoodlums. But anyway, so. I'm digressing, right? So it's like Hung, he came from this lineage of just like martial arts, bro. He was over, I think he was at Westminster Boxing, trained there for a little bit. No Limits with Oyama, and then Oyama started Team Oyama in Irvine. So he was there with like Oyama's OG team, you know, with Ron Schoolsdang. Look that gym up. It's like, you know, he's got UFC fighters. He's got fighters across, you know, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, multiple disciplines. It's a gym I want to check out one day, dude. I look at it though, and I'm like, damn, they look like they beat the crap out of each other, dude.
Yeah, they go hard, dog. There's some dogs over there, man. There's freaking killers, man.
Have you trained there?
I've trained there a couple times.
Oyama looks like he goes hard in the sparring. He like, at least the videos I've seen, it's like he's like encouraging them to like go hard, you know, which is
They're
cool.
dogs, man. They're dogs, bro. They get after it. They get after it. Like you gotta have some heart to go over there and train with those boys, because they not only do they have a fucking endless gas tank, right? Their technique is crisp. They like, dude, they're dogs over there, man. They're dogs over there, and you gotta be a special type of animal to go over there and train with them, man. Like they They get after it, dog. They get after it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way there. One of our customers at my work, he trains there, so maybe I'll go with him. His name's Tree. Shout out Tree. But yeah, I haven't seen clips just because I just pay attention to all the gyms, and I'm like, damn, that gym is crazy. That's a hard gym. But I mean, it speaks for itself, bro. He's got a stable of champions, bro. UFC title winners. It's and he's still doing it, for all these years. It's kind of crazy.
Still to this day, man. Up to current day, there's good champ. I think they had a UNF champ. I think he just became he just got signed into the UFC.
Gianni Vasquez, he's there. He got dropped, unfortunately, but he's making his way back in. That was man, I gotta interview that guy again so we could talk about that.
Yeah, bro, they have a nice lineup over there, Doug. They're stacked. They're stacked.
Yeah, so training with Hung, it's like you have access to these fighters, the training, the knowledge, bro, the recovery, bro, because that's something that not a lot of people look at, but Hung, he's like, bro, I've been through this, bro. He's like, this is how we do things.
Yeah, he teaches us a bunch of shit, bro. Like, a lot of people, like I tell you, a lot of people overlook it, and then like coach is always on us, man. Like, oh, you gotta make sure that you stretch out before or after. Like, he'll take us through some routines. And that one that helped my hips, man, that one, because I had really tight hips, bro, and that one's helped me out a lot, dog. I want 100%, bro. That thing has got me from like maybe, I was probably like at a 50. I'm like at a 75 now, I incorporated that into my routine. I do that like twice a week, and you'll feel sore, man, but dude, those kicks, I'm able to throw kicks a lot better now, dude. I don't feel, usually I used to like throw a kick, and when I would rotate on the way back, I would feel like, I would feel it get stuck or something. Yeah, man, I don't feel that no more. So I'm like, okay, something's working, And he's taught us this other thing, man, where like it's like an isometric hold, but you hold it and then freaking you'll start to shake. Like you start to shake from the tension that you're holding in between your limbs, and then but that's what you're after. And then after, that was another thing too. I had like a groin, I had like really bad groin pain, and took me through a couple of those sessions, man, and then my thing's gone. Yeah, that thing's gone. And then it's just from isometric holds. Like, really, you want to think about, like, you're holding like a big medicine ball in between your knees, and then you're just like squeezing it, and you're going to start to shake. Like, you're going to start to shake. But after a while, man, what's crazy? That when you do it, right? There's been about 3 times, bro, where like I felt like so euphoric. I'm like, whoa.
Endorphin rush.
Dog. Crazy. And you tried to get up and be like, whoa, hold on. Like, stay down there for a bit, you know what I mean? Recover it, take some deep breaths, work on your breathing. And then, but yeah, man, I've gotten up like 3 good sessions, bro, where I'm just like, whoa, what is this? From stretching, dog.
That's crazy.
From freaking isometric holds. That's wild.
That's one thing I try to teach kids, bro, is the stretching, because I'm like, most adults don't do it. And I just feel like that's something you got, like, as a kid, you just got to pound into them, dude. Make this part of your routine, Make this a part of your life.
100%, man. 100%. I feel like a lot of the elder folk in my life, man, that I see, I feel like a lot of it, because, our older folk, man, they have not incorporated this lifestyle, this very active lifestyle. And I feel like a lot of their problems, bro, like, they could be eradicated if you just got up and went for a walk, right? Maybe did some body weight squats or something, or maybe like something, not just sitting around all day. And then after a while, you just start to like, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of that, bro, it's preventable. A lot of that's preventable, man. And that, like me growing up, seeing all of that, and I'm like, I'm going to prevent that from happening to me. Like you see other people, bro, like one of our members in here, man, he's like 60 and he's jacked, dude. 60? Boxing.
Damn.
Boxing.
Yeah, some moves and stuff, right?
Yeah, bro, for a 60-year-old dude, he moves good. And he's like,
this is crazy,
bro.
That's a big number, bro.
Yeah, bro. When he told me his age, I was like, what?
Does he like look younger or what?
Yeah, he don't look like a 60-year-old dude. And his son trains with us, bro. Yeah, man. And yeah, dog, I was surprised. But again, it's preventable, right? He's in here every day. Yeah. Every day, bro. He's in here. you know, and he's in there putting in work. He's lifting, you know, he'll box. He trains with Cam. You know, he's one of Cam's clients. You know, you see him in there, boom, boom, boom. You know, hitting the pad work, getting working with Cam, lifting. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. But again, bro, it's preventable. You know, and that's where I want to be. Like when I get to that stage in life, bro. Like I want to be able to be like him, still be able to move. You know what I'm saying? And still be able to like have that physical fitness, have that physical readiness. You know?
Yeah, you don't want to feel like you're old even when you're old. You mentioned how you're doing jiu-jitsu, which actually I think I was there for your first tournament, right? Was that your first tournament over at it was in, where was it, Anaheim?
Yeah.
I remember just randomly I walked in, I was like, hey. But you trained with my homegirl Tracy, which I didn't know at the time until I saw it, and I was like, oh, you guys have the same coach.
Yeah, bro. That was the first time I competed, so it was kind of like, it was good competition, but that's like kind of one, because I eventually do want to like, I want to test myself and I want to, you know, later compete in more jiu-jitsu. But those are like, you know how they have the PMTs?
Yeah, it's like that version.
Yeah, it's like a version like that, but for jiu-jitsu. And it was good exposure, man. It was good exposure. I did another one in December. Our coach hosted at the gym where I train. Well, I train jiu-jitsu here too, but where I do, yeah, Compton Jiu-Jitsu. Shout out to Sideshow and Compton Jiu-Jitsu. He teaches me. I do more gi over there, right? And it was December 10th, I believe, where we hosted like an in-house tournament, and it was cool too. I was able to. I learned a lot. I learned that I didn't get the dubs, but I did learn a lot. I learned very valuable lessons on what I need to work on in my game. Yeah. Where, because the defense was, I didn't get submitted. I lost by time, right? I lost by time in overtime, actually, where I couldn't get out of. So usually when you go into like the overtime, because like we did
or something, right?
Yeah. So you either get to choose. You know, they'll take the back, so you either have to submit or get out. Yeah. And I wasn't able to get out in time. Right, so I need to work on more of control, right, of retention, more so. I need to work on my control and my retention, and being able to pass, right, and being able to pass. Because every time when I would get past the guard, or when I'd get the side mount, they'd put me right back in the guard. So, and then I'd be able to get out again, and then they put me right back. So I need to work on those aspects of the game. Yeah, man, where once I transition into a different either side mount, whatever it is, I need to be able to hold that position for a little bit longer. Because one of the things that I have noticed is that usually the higher belts, they're more calm, right? And they're more patient. And I've learned that that's where the submission comes, because they're not actively
aggressive
pressing. Yeah. They're not actively pursuing, right? They're waiting for you to make a mistake. Yeah, they're waiting for you to make a mistake, or they're waiting for you to get all spazzy, and then they'll catch you, right? So, yeah, man, it was a very big eye opener for myself, doing both the in-house tournament and the tournament where you saw me at. And I like it, man. I like it a lot. The weight cuts are a little bit more lenient. You know what I'm saying? They don't got to be no
punching each other, so they're probably like,
well, not just that. Just the fact that I don't have to I could compete around the weight that I walk around at. Yeah. So I could just wake up, have breakfast, and then go weigh in.
Point, actually, yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta like kill myself and drop 10 pounds to compete. But it's challenging in a different way. And I like that aspect too. It's something different, So
yeah, I did jiu-jitsu for a while. I was training under Legacy Jiu-Jitsu over at Spider. He's still over there. I stopped doing it because I had a partial tear in my MCL from it, and I just was like, honestly, I was like, I'm never going back. It was my bad though. It's nothing about the sport. I just was like, I have this thing, bro, ever since I've been training. It's like I always like to go against bigger guys or higher ranked guys. Just because to me it's like just surviving is a win to me, you know what I mean? Or being able to mount some type of offensive. The same thing was with Muay Thai, bro. I'd always train with the bigger, higher, better guys, In Jiu-Jitsu, though, it's a little different, though, because they're heavier, bro.
Yeah, bro.
And what happened with me is I was rolling against one of my teammates. His name's Adrian, right? He's way bigger guy, weighed 240, I think, at the time, right? At that time, I was way more leaner. I think I was like 130 maybe, right? So we're rolling, bro, and I had him mounted, full mount. I'm on top of him, right? And this dude doesn't even need to use technique. He's just so much bigger than me. He was able to just roll over. Like, usually when someone mounts you, it's like you gotta anchor one way, and then, you know, you kind of trap another way, and then you roll them over,
and
right?
Then you roll the other way,
usually when they roll you over, it's like one leg goes under, one leg goes above, right? And they flip you over. Because he just rolled under and I had him mounted, my knees were locked onto the sides. Dude, I felt my knee like detach and then pop back in, and I was like, damn. And so luckily it wasn't a full tear, it was just a partial tear, but dude, I couldn't train for like a long time, bro. The recovery at first, they told me would be like 8 weeks, right? Not that bad. I think I got back to the gym in 8 weeks thinking like we're good, and I remember I was working boxing, and I threw a hook, I think it was a hook or a cross.
And then you felt something again.
Yeah, just that little twitch, bro. I really injured it, bro.
The rotation on the planting leg, huh?
Yeah, so I went back to the hospital, dude. Another like, I think it was like, this time it was like 8-9 weeks. Finally, when I came back, I was like, no more jiu-jitsu, dude. But I think I told you at the tournament, I was like, hey, bro, you can tie clench him and just expect him to shoot, and just know that they're gonna shoot and try to like stuff that.
Funny enough, in both the in-house and the tournament in Anaheim, I was able to work the collar tie, and with the gi, I'd get I would grab onto the gi, right? So I was like pushing, pulling, and I was able to hit a couple Muay Thai sweeps, get onto side mount. Yeah, so I was able, the Muay Thai clinch helped me out a lot. And even in the no gi, I was able to do the same thing, and just yanking them, right, getting them off balance. And I was able to come down, go for a single leg. Yeah, go for a single leg. I was able to get a couple takedowns. So I've been able to utilize my clinch game from Muay Thai and transfer it over to Jiu-Jitsu. It's been cool, man. It's cool when you get to see how one aspect of one game can help you in the other, and then how you can flow in between the bridge. I like that a lot, man. I like to see that my clinch game is able to help me out. And even in the hand fighting, in jiu-jitsu, it's helped me out a lot, man.
With that, what you said earlier about how the clinch translated, dude, that's one thing I noticed early on, because even though I sucked at jits, it's like the thing about working in the clinch in Muay Thai, it's like you're not really using your eyes because you can't, you know? It's more of you're feeling the weight.
You gotta feel it.
You're kind of understanding like, oh, I'm positioning here, so the only opening is over here, right? So it's like you're aware of it. In jits, it's almost exactly the same thing, bro. You're just working off of what you feel, like, oh, I feel his arm doing something over here. This doesn't feel right, you know? Or like, oh, I know his foot's gonna be there, so I could probably sweep him if I anchor this down, you know?
Yeah. Even some of the dudes that do wrestling too, those fools are crazy, bro. Like those fools, bro, they're fucking animals, dog. They fucking, especially when they have good gas tank, bro. They can just fucking shoot, bro. That shit's annoying.
Yeah, dude. The last dude I interviewed, I think it was Justin Padilla. It's coming out soon, guys. He talked about the wrestling. He was a wrestler, actually.
Oh shit!
It's kind of funny that you brought it up, dude. Wrestlers, dude, it's about their time, you know?
Yeah, bro. They. I feel like if you're a really good, like, bro, we've seen it in the UFC. We've seen it in MMA. When you are a really good wrestler, bro, hey, you might be really good at stand-up, and then, like, look at Max Holloway, right?
Yeah,
look at Max Holloway when he fought Bronx. Good stand-up, and then what did Bronx do? I'm gonna take you to the ground, right? And, you know, but the dope thing about Max Holloway, though, because Bronx, he has the most finishes, right? Submission finishes. He couldn't finish Max Holloway. So you got to give real good credit. You got to give real good credit to Max's defense, right? Dude, he couldn't finish him, right? But the whole point was that he just took him down, and he held them. He controlled them, right? He controlled them. So if you have really good ground game, bro, for MMA, like, that's a complete different ball game.
Yeah.
Or like if you're a really good wrestler, like it's coming up too, the Hamza versus Sean Strickland.
Dude, I'm so interested in that fight, dude.
I'm interested too, but I think, honestly,
I was just gonna run through him.
I think he's gonna freaking maul him up, bro, because look at what he did to DDP, bro.
No problem. And DDP looks like he's stronger than Strickland. Like, physically, he looks stronger.
He made him look like a high school kid, bro. Just boom, ragdolling him, boom. Hamza's a different animal,
He's
bro.
a lifelong wrestler. That's like a different type of wrestler.
Like, Doug, the blueprint's there, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah, bro. It's a huge advantage. Feet aren't working. All right, freak it. Let's take it to the ground.
Yeah.
Boom. And then you work on the ground.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the good thing about wrestling is you can utilize it, and in most cases, it's like you're not really in danger of getting hurt. You know, I mean, you can get submitted and stuff like that, but it's like versus striking, it's like there's not really neutral points, right?
Yeah, bro. You get
you're getting punched or kicked. That's it. There's no just sitting or hold. I mean, even in the clinch, you're getting kneed, you're getting elbowed, you're getting dumped. You know what I mean? So the cool thing about wrestling is if you utilize it, you can find ways to, like, let's say you're getting hit hard, grab them.
Yeah, you can stall out a little bit, maybe look for another position, you know, maybe catch a breath a little bit. There's moments where you can stall out a bit.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah, and that's a benefit, bro. Even though the fans, including myself, might not always like it, you know, but it is a benefit and there's an advantage to it.
Part of the game, Doug. You know.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, from this conversation, like, I'm getting the idea that you might want to throw an MMA match soon. Is that what you're trying to go towards?
I wouldn't be opposed to it if the opportunity shows itself. I'd be willing to do it, but I don't want to say 100%. Yeah, I'm aiming for an MMA fight. I'm not opposed to it, and I'm willing to do it. You know, but I'm just going with the flow, man. If it happens, great. If not, I'm just gonna keep training. Like, I'm just gonna keep training, striking, jiu-jitsu, like, and just be ready for the opportunity. Because if it prevents itself and I'm capable, I'll do it. You know?
Do you just kind of let Hung just handle all that, and you're like, yeah, I'll do it? Is that kind of?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, because you know I have a huge trust for Coach, bro. He's put me in very good positions for me be able to compete and showcase my skill set. You know, he's put a lot of trust in me. I put in a lot of work. You know, I work hard, and he's put me in positions, bro, where they've been put it, like, you know, I've been able to showcase my skill set. I've been able to make something out of it. You know, so if the opportunity arises, I'm willing to take it, you know?
No, I think Hung's got a good eye for matchmaking, dude. Honestly, like him, Dennis, they're like two of the best in the sport, bro.
Yeah, bro. Coach be putting on some really good. He puts on some really good fights. Like the last couple, like when Fighters Rep was still around, right? The last couple cards when he started matchmaking, they were freaking bangers, bro. They were bangers. And then even like the last. All the WCK cards that he's been putting on, bro, they've been bangers too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they've been bangers. So, yeah, coach has an eye for talent. He has an eye for being able to match make. You know? Yeah. And yeah, man.
Yeah, I think let's try fast real quick. I think Hung has a general passion for matchmaking, which is really cool because I feel like sometimes you'll see people that they don't really have a passion for. They're just doing it because they need to do it, right, to get the fights going. But he seems like he actually takes the time to sit there, look at the fighter, look at his past experiences and stuff, and be like, all right, he'll do a good match with this guy. You know?
Yeah, he's very good at doing that, man. He's very good at, like, okay, okay, yeah, this will be a good match.
Be a banger.
Yeah, there's gonna be, yeah. He has an eye for that, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's dope.
Yep. All right, Miklo, anything you want to tell the fans, your people, family, friends?
I just want to give a big thanks to everybody that's been supporting me throughout my entire journey in mixed martial arts, mixed martial arts, and my Muay Thai journey. Big shout out to Coach Hung. Shout out to the Hardworks family, my teammates. Shout out to Compton Jiu-Jitsu. And come April 25th, I'm going to put on a good show. Shout out to my opponent too, you know, because it takes courage, it takes skill to get in the ring. No matter who you are, if you prepare mentally, physically to get into that ring, it's a different type of grind, man. It's a different type of preparation that not a lot of people are willing to do. You know, not a lot of people have that courage to get into the ring. So shout outs to all the fighters. Shout outs to everybody that competes, man. It takes courage. It takes freaking grit. And I got tickets on sale. Hit me up, DM me. I'm gonna have fight shirts coming out soon too, and I'm proactively looking for sponsors for this fight camp to help me get through recovery or any type of medicals, any type of expenses that partake with the training. But
it's very expensive, guys.
Yeah, but if you love it, man, you gotta be willing to put in the work. You gotta be willing to get down and dirty, and be able to, network and communicate. So if anybody's interested, hit me up. I appreciate the help. I appreciate the love. Again, much love and respect to all fighters. Thank you for having me, Tío Mo.
Yes, sir, bro. You want to give him your socials, your IG, all that?
I'm on Instagram. Is at Miklo, MIIK_LOWW. I'm on Facebook too. You can just find me under Miklo. If you put in Miklo, MIKLOW, I'm the first one to pop out. Yeah, Doug. And yeah, that's pretty much. I'm not on TikTok or any of that. I'm just on Instagram and.
Bro, that's where everyone's at now.
I know, right?
I don't like it either, though, bro.
I don't want to step over to the dark side. You know what I'm saying?
Just get your girl running, bro.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm.
Think about that.
Yeah, I think I just might. So, yeah. Shout out to my baby too. She's been a very, very big person in my corner. She's been very supportive in every step of the way. Just like how they say, behind every successful man, there's a woman standing behind him, and that's very true. She's my rock. She helps me out a lot. She pushes me, even though she don't know it, but she does. I got huge love and respect for my girl. I love her. I appreciate her. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. April 25th. This is going down at WCK in Westminster. First time I've ever seen a fight event in Westminster.
It's the first show in Westminster. It's the first show in Westminster, and it's gonna be a good one. I know Coach has a lot of people that he knows. Yeah, that's his turf. That's his stomping ground. So
I also heard
it's gonna be good.
I heard a rumor that Rampage Jackson might be there, so that's gonna be cool. I don't know if I might have to take that out. I gotta run that through.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Dude,
he's been doing his MMA fights, his MMA shows, and they've been local.
What's it called?
I think it's called Rampage Fight League or something like that. Yeah,
it looks cool, man.
And he's like a commentator. He'll interview the post-fight interviews.
I like it.
And he's like streaming all the time.
The kick thing, bro. I think if he comes and he does his kick stream, that's going to give a lot of exposure for these fighters.
Exposure to the fighters.
That's going to be a good thing for you guys, yeah.
That'd be crazy, bro. That'd be something real dope if that does happen, because it'd be very beneficial to the fighters to get that kind of exposure.
Yeah, for WCK too, bro.
Yeah, and for WCK too, of course. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a fun night. It's gonna be full of fireworks. I know that there's some good fights stacked up for that card. So we're gonna put on a good show, man. All the fighters, we're gonna put on a good show. I know that there's been. Shout out to my boy Drew, because I know he's fighting on that card too. My boy Drewski, Drew get buckets. You know what I'm saying? I know he's been grinding, and he's on the same card too. We about to put on a good show. We've been talking about it. Yeah. Yeah,
last time you guys fought together, you guys both got the dub, right?
We both got the dub.
That's tight. That's cool.
Yeah, that was the very first time like I was mentioning to you earlier, that was the very first time I met Drew and Yadir and Julio. Like, we got to chop it up in person.
Love those guys, man.
Yeah, man, we put on a good show that night.
Yep. So yeah, get your tickets. If you guys are in the Long Beach area, you guys are thinking about training, I highly suggest you come check out.
If you guys are local,
but Hardworks, you probably can
Hardworks Fitness. Oh, and shout out to Muay Thai Cartel, my boy Ed, for supplying us with the good gear. You know what I mean? If anybody want to get your clothing, your gear, your Muay Thai gear fixed, hit them up. Get them on IG.
Yes, sir. WCK, Hung Vu, really appreciate you putting this on, giving me the opportunity to interview your fighters, and Dennis Warner, bro, still doing it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for watching, guys. Check this guy out. I'm gonna have his link to his profile in the bio. I'll probably include it in the clip. And yeah, goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.